Hi, I'm Jim Berns. I'm a registered Ortho-Bionomy advanced instructor. I'd like to tell you about a class that's coming up here at the school called an Experiential Ethics and Emotional Issues class. I can tell you this is going to be different than any other ethics class you have ever had. This is going to be about finding in our body how we can be what our values are. So let me explain is that years ago I was always curious to see how when the practitioner can embody and feel in their body when they're thrown off in their ethics, when they're not coming from a centered place, how coming back to center can affect the person on the table. I have notes here that I'm going to be reading because I have so much I want to tell you I'm so excited about. So what we're really going to be looking at is a journey into an experiential place of finding in our body where our values are, where we go off center from them, and how to come back to them, as well as exploring a lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different experiences that may happen. What we'll be doing is establishing our own boundaries, because that's so important in ethics and emotional issues, is that we are the foundation that the client is relying on to be able to fall back on. We are the roots, we are the structure that they can feel trust in. We'll be practicing where our center is. I'll be practicing with you how to, when we're thrown off center, and how to come back to center. Knowing our own skills and limitations are going to be very important. When we're trying to be something different than who we are, it doesn't work. And then what we'll be doing is finding a place in us to, when a situation comes up, where do we want to come from within our own values? In the ethics part of the class, the experiential ethics part of the class, is what we're going to be doing is looking at, instead of ethics being an intellectual process of just knowing certain laws and situations, and we'll talk about a lot of legal things, from our standpoint it's going to be about a springboard of reflecting in our body how we can be what we want to be. Truly it's about embodying our values and what's important to us. We'll be looking at what is our core values. There's going to be a lot of writing so that you have a lot of things to reflect on. We'll be looking at the role of power and authority. We'll be looking at what is our relationship with money. These are some of the topics that we'll be talking about. We'll be looking at the roles that clients put ourselves into, as well as the roles that we put ourselves into. And then also the different kinds of therapeutic relationships. We'll be talking about transference, projection, countertransference, things like that. What I hope is that you will be able to walk away from this class, this Experiential Ethics and Emotional Issues class, knowing more about yourself and where in your body you can come from. Because once we can be it, it's so much easier to share it with other people. In the experiential part of the Ethics and Emotional Issues class, what we'll be looking at is how do we integrate our own emotions with our clients' emotions. We are not just these cold things, this thing that people are being with. We have to take into account our own reactions. We'll be looking at different responses that we have inside of ourselves to different emotions that come up for ourselves and others. We'll be looking at what happens in other people, and how can we, even when we're thrown off center, how can we come back to center? We'll be looking at where we're in a profession that we're getting paid to look at our own stuff. So looking at our own levels of habitual ways of responding and seeing if that's what fits us. The Ethics and Emotional Issues class is part of it's a required class if you're continuing to study Ortho-Bionomy with the associate program and the registered practitioner program. So if you'd like more information, please contact the school, and I look forward to sharing this information with you. Take care.